Everybody nowadays thinks they need a crossover, a full-size SUV. Adam here from the Walzer Automotive Group today telling you, you might not. So behind me here is the Nissan Sentra, and on the other side is the Toyota Corolla. So let's dive into these little vehicles and see why they might just be the perfect option for you. So let's start with our first vehicle here today, which is the Nissan Sentra SR. Now this one's gonna have an 18-inch alloy wheel on the exterior. It's gonna have Nissan's new V-Motion front grille, which makes it a pretty sharp looking vehicle. If you just walk by, you wouldn't know the difference between an Altima or maybe the Maxima, but the Sentra has definitely grown over the years. Now this one as well, there's tons of space inside. I'm not kidding, I'm 6'1" and I fit in it very well, and we'll look at that in a little bit, but the trunk space is what blew me away. If you had 2 sets of golf clubs and a couple duffel bags and I told you it was going into Nissan's subcompact vehicle, you would think I was lying. But there's tons of room in there, and inside it really shines. But let's take a look quick at the Corolla before we hop inside the Sentra. Now the Toyota Corolla is a name you're gonna hear and then you're gonna recognize. The Corolla's been around for a number of years and it's built on the fact of reliability, great fuel economy, and now I think pretty good looks. The Corolla comes in a ton of different trim levels, all the way up to basically a race car to our daily commuter like we have here. I like the styling up front. You've got LED headlights. You can get a ton of equipment on this, and this is basically just one of the base model versions, but it's still a good looking little car that gets awesome gas mileage, and it's gonna have just as much room almost as the Nissan, and inside you are gonna have a bunch of creature comforts. But let's again start with that Nissan. We'll check out the interior. Okay, so now we're in the Sentra. We've always got our phones on us. Cool, convenient storage right there. Now, a few other things. I'm 6'1", I have the seat all the way back. I have a ton of headroom. I would probably move forward even a little bit. The steering wheel is adjustable also, but I'm comfortable in here. Like I said, if you blindfolded me and just put me in here, I would say I was in the Altima. It's got a ton of equipment. It's got blind spot monitoring. It's got adaptive cruise control. We also have a push button start with keyless entry on the outside. Automatic climate control, which is something that you would never expect in a subcompact of years past. Heated seats, heated steering wheel, the backup camera is awesome in here. You can also have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto. I mean, there's so much good equipment in here. Don't get me wrong, being in an SUV when you're up a little bit higher does feel safer, but with Nissan's safety suite, all the technology, all the nannies that you do have in here, this vehicle, I promise, is gonna be just as safe as a larger SUV. I do have room when I'm in the back seat, which is crazy to me. Again, I hadn't spent a lot of time in these smaller subcompacts, but I do fit. I'm comfortable in here. I love Nissan seats. It's got this cool orange stitching as well in here. And if I'm getting 37 miles per gallon on the highway and I'm saving money at the pump, I'm definitely gonna be happy about that. But again, you get a good feel of all the stuff you can have in here, the good looks, the comfort. It's an awesome little car. Let's hop over to the Toyota Corolla. We'll check that one out. Okay, so now we're inside the Toyota Corolla, and I guarantee 9 out of 10 people, if you ask them, what's the most reliable vehicle? What are they gonna say? Toyota or Honda, right? It's just got that reputation, and the Corolla, like, it's been around for years. It's just built that reputation of being a reliable, great fuel economy, I mean, all around good vehicle that just works. This one does have Toyota Safety Sense in here, so you've got adaptive cruise control, you've got lane departure warning, it's got a few other emergency braking, collision things. It just, like I said, an SUV is great, but most of the time, if you don't need all that space, why throw away 15 or 20 miles per gallon extra on the highway when this vehicle can do it all? And like I said, this is kind of a base model. You've still got automatic climate control, we've still got our great infotainment in here. It's almost like playing a game. When you've got the little MPG meter, I found myself driving around and kind of looking over at it a bunch to see how much my fuel economy was improving. And it's just an easy to drive little car. You don't have to worry about parking in a subcompact vehicle. If you're downtown or if you're going into the city, even if you're just going to a busy grocery store on the weekend and everybody's got their humongous SUVs and you slide into a spot, it's gonna feel pretty good. Another thing, back seat in this one, again, I'm 6'1", this seat is all the way back and I fit behind it with headroom. I've got a little bit of knee space. So if you're not hauling people around every day, this might be a great little vehicle for you. So comparing the two, it's kind of apples to apples. I do like the infotainment, I think, better on the Nissan. I like the steering wheel and layout here with the center console and everything. It just kind of fits me a little bit better in the Toyota, but there's nothing wrong with that Nissan Sentra. Okay, so let's recap. What do I like about both? obviously the fuel economy and the size, if you aren't hauling people around, if you're not needing all that extra space. I mean, how often are you actually putting stuff in the back of the SUV? For me, this is more than enough. It works, it's comfortable, I've got everything I need in here. It's definitely something you gotta keep on the list if you're looking for your next vehicle. So that was just a quick look at 2 subcompact sedans. Now, if you want more information, maybe to see one of these in person, you can visit us online at walser.com or stop by any one of our locations. We'd be happy to help. Thanks again for watching.